Hello everybody. Today's video is about a little game called Mercantisle, and this video is brought to you by the devs of this game. We want to thank them for sponsoring today's video and giving us the opportunity to bring this cool little bit game in front of you guys. This is a good one. Alright, so Mercantisle is a really interesting game. The premise of it is that you are a dude in charge of a village. So we're going to name our dude here Noobert, and the village name Noobtopia. And this is a bit different from World in that instead of you managing the entirety of the village and all the villagers within it, you kind of manage your one villager and the village itself and then try to maintain the villagers within. And that can be a bit confusing, so let me explain things first. So throughout the game, these three advisors you have here will all have different opinions trying to help you figure out which way you want to lead the colony. Your whole idea of doing things in this game is going to be about money. You want to make as much money for yourself as you can, and you want to make as much money for the village as you can, and you want to maintain the happiness of all the villagers that live there through managing the flow of money. So, how do you do that? Well, you make goods, and you sell those goods. And the goods that you sell could be a variety of things. It could just be raw goods, or you could manufacture goods, craft goods, vice versa, etc., 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 as you learn skills and abilities to do more and more and more. So the game starts us off in the middle here, the middle island. There's a few islands. We can freely go between all of them. Nothing stops us. Our little dude here can just walk on wherever he wants. It's not a big deal. They all have different resources on them, and we can tell our guy here, Noobert, to harvest what we want him to harvest through this menu here, the harvesting menu on the bottom left. It's a little hand sickle. Now, what we can do here is we can say which islands we want to see harvested, right? So we're on middle. We want to just always harvest the middle. It's always easy to harvest the middle. The rest of it is the rest of the island. So our big thing is we need wood. And we're probably going to want to harvest ourselves some strawberries and marigolds, right? These are all things that are going to be useful. The rest of it, we're not going to worry too much about. We can't use it right now. So before we unpause the game, this on our right is our village view. It shows our village level. The influence tokens we have, we can use tokens to invoke policies or put down village banners, which we'll get into more later as we play. And then we have our progress to the next level. As our villagers are happy, right, we gain more progress. So like a more detailed one is right here. Village levels up when they have sufficient citizens of sufficient happiness, right? So the happier your villagers are, the faster you reach the next level and the more villagers you maintain, right? So you can actually level down as well. So be careful about that. You don't want to have too many issues. So progress requires one citizen at 1.5 happiness. Now if we click citizen on the bottom right here, we can see the citizens we have. We only have one right now. It's Noobert. He has 25 cash. He has no recent daily income. He's not making any money. And his happiness is a -13 with an average happiness of 0, right? Highest income sources of commodity, whatever they're selling. So we can select the settler right here, our villager. And this is Noobert. He has an inventory, but it's empty right now because he's got nothing in his shop and all that good stuff. We click here on the build tab on the bottom left, and we can select what it is that we want to build. Right now we can't build anything at all but our very first building in the game, and that is our initial shop. And we're going to just place one right here. And this is where Noobert will put everything he owns that he wants to sell to other people. Right now there's nobody to sell anything to because he's the only one living here. He's just going to gather what he needs to survive. Ah, yes, price setting. The game's trying to give us a bit more tutorial, but that is my job today. So if you come here and click shop, right, we can set the prices of things that we want to buy, things we want to sell. We can see what competitors are selling things for. So right now we have strawberries for our shop, right? Right here we can see how much we want to keep in our pockets, how much before we don't want to gather anymore. We're going to set that actually down to a crisp 30, because that is plenty. And then we want to see the shop inventory. So when he reaches a certain amount in his own pockets, he'll start dumping it into the shop to be sold, right? This is our selling price per unit. We're going to set it to 4 because that's just fine. Then this is selling price with tax. Later on, when you have more people in a village, you can start putting a tax on items sold to generate money for the village. Noobert's money and the village's money are separate wallets, right? The village has to pay for its own things, development, defenses, stuff like that. Yes, you can fight in this game. Whereas Noobert wants to develop his own industry and gain money, right? So, I'll have a quick, oh yeah, and of course we have the competitor's price here too, so it'll show us what our competitors have been selling for, and that's our total after the tax as well. And then on the far right, it shows our profit. So the game keeps track of all your expenditures leading up to a sale, and then shows you if you're making money or not. And of course, it's going to be a million tool tips over here, but I want to kind of walk you guys through this game the Noobert way. So we'll just keep on going as we're going. Let's head over to build here. We can finally build a house. So where you build a shop is where all the other villagers will build shops, and where you build houses is where all the other villagers will build houses. We don't want everybody putting their houses and shops in the same area because we like to decorate freely and stuff like that. So I'm putting house over here. And then a fireplace, right? We'll kind of put it in between. Kind of a area where structures and stuff will be built. So Noobert house, Noobert shop, Noobert fireplace. And it needs a little bit more resources. You can see on the top right here, he needs some more stone and some more wood. The fireplace is where he'll be able to cook his meals and make some food. So the village is able to grow now. Noobert is sufficiently happy. We can now add more people to our village. So let's go ahead and recruit a citizen. This is very similar to how things are in Oxygen Not Included, where we have this roll of a couple of potential duplicates. In this case, it's going to be villagers that we could spawn in the colony, and they have their essential traits that come with them. So in this case, this guy's experience, he starts with a random skill. Skills are extremely important. Skills are what we need for villagers to be able to do other things. And to give you an example of what that is, right? Let's go ahead and we'll take one more person, right? So let's go look at Noobert and his skills right here. Oh, we can't look at his skills yet. Noobert's not smart enough to unlock a skill. We'll wait for someone else to wander along and I'll show you their skills. There we go. So, skills. Here is the skill tree. Each of these are different industries. Each of them has different subcategories of things that you unlock as you gain more skills, right, and have more resources. So this guy over here that we just recruited to the village, he knows how to do agriculture already. And what that means is he's able to build his own flax gardens, tree farms, marigold gardens. Very important stuff. If we don't have people with certain skills in the colony, there's certain things that we can't produce. And different industries rely on different resources that are produced by other villagers, right? And so I don't build the buildings that this guy builds. As you notice, when we recruited them, these shops appeared, right? They build their own shops, they build their own houses, they build their own farms, they build their own everything, right? So we try to manage the village more so through the flow of cash and the flow of resources, the availability of resources in our markets, which right now, these other guys are selling stuff. They're selling iron, they're selling marigolds, they're also selling strawberries. Right now, right, we're kind of the only ones selling strawberries. These guys are selling stone. We don't really want to sell our stone, so we'll raise the price. We're going to raise the price of our wood too. We don't want to sell it. Beatrice Jefferson has started new building a tree farm. Tree farm is going to be very useful. Having a more affordable supply of wood within the village is going to be wild because the exterior harvesting methods, right? Like if we go, let's pause the game real quick. If we go over here, right, where they've been chopping trees, eventually these resources get exhausted. And if we're not farming it, we can't get more, and everybody needs wood for their projects, right? They need wood for building houses. They need wood for building their shops. They need wood for building everything they want to build. I don't know why I'm struggling to come up with examples right now. There's a ton of examples. Yeah, see flags, decorations, so many things. And as we unlock better materials, we can do better versions of buildings. Like, for example, this is just an unfinished primitive home. Keyword here being primitive. Eventually, you would build a stone home, right? You got lots of bricks coming in, and you don't want to live in your primitive house no more. You upgrade that to a stone home. Your general happiness goes up, etc., etc., etc. So, Noobert here isn't good at a whole lot of anything at the moment. He's just going to run around gathering resources and going home and trying to sell it at his shop. Yeah, influence banners. Come on, game. Throwing so many notifications my way. We're moving the Noobert speed. Let's get rid of all this. Oh, worm invasion in 2 minutes. Well, we'll be able to show you guys about combat in a moment. It looks like Beatrice wants some help finishing some stuff. So, every now and then, your villagers will try to build something that they think is useful to make money for themselves, but also to produce resources in the village, but they don't quite have everything they need to do it. Beatrice is asking for help to build their tree farm. Now, tree farm is very useful to the village. I can gift from Noobert's inventory, not from the village's inventory, but Noobert's inventory. Which, so if we click Noobtopia, if we just click anywhere it says Noobtopia up here, this is the village view. We can go to market and look at this here. At future levels, we can actually have the village buy up resources and hold on to those for its own projects. Right now, the village can't do that. But the village can gift stuff out, but it gifts stuff evenly, right? It doesn't just gift one person. So we spread amongst everyone a pile of resources. We had a pile. In this case, they need stone. Noobert happens to have quite a bit of stone, so we're just going to give them that to sate that need. And then we'll also hand stuff out just to get them started, just getting them started. And they're going to build that tree farm. They're going to start selling wood, and we're going to be able to start buying the wood that we need for other stuff, which is really good. The beetles have arrived, so as the game goes, you're going to get raided by bugs, pestilence, and other nefarious critters. Stuff that's not fun to deal with. Your mood's going to improve over time, don't you worry. Let's go ahead and look at where the pestilence are. So they are in the strawberry meadow where Noobert likes to spend a lot of time. Noobert can go fight by himself, or we can ask the other villagers to come fight with us, right? The downside here is that the villagers aren't very interested in fighting for a cause that they don't see as beneficial to them, right? Say our villager over here, Jefferson, Beatrice, doesn't need to farm strawberries, isn't interested in risking life and limb to defend strawberries for Noobert's sake. So what we do instead is we go to hire mercenaries, and we can pay, using our own money, the other villagers to come along and help us deal with these vermin. Every now and then, your villagers will have some moody spats as well, too. They have their own personal needs. If you click on a villager, if we click on Beatrice right now, for example, who is lonely, we can hover over their mood here and see what exactly is causing that unhappiness. We'll have to undraft them first. I can't do it right now. They're going to go along over here and start shooting arrows at these dudes. And we're going to dismiss them back to their day. Technically, we could keep them all day because they're paid for the day, but we don't have anything else to fight today. We're going to let them be. And then as Noobert goes, we're going to have him harvest all these wretched creatures' bodies because we can sell the meat to the other villagers. And they're not going to steal our kills because we paid them to come help us harvest these critters. And there we go. A smuggler has arrived. Very interesting. Are they still here? Yeah, right here. So smugglers are an interesting merchant in this game. They sell things that aren't really available and might be illegal. Sometimes their prices are really good and sometimes they're really bad as well. For example, they've got wood for 10 gold each. It's very good stuff to have on hand. They don't have any stone, but then they have other stuff, like an egg of a medicine pooper. Now, a medicine pooper is a very good critter. It poops medicine. Medicine's kind of hard to get if you don't have anyone in the village that knows how to make it. It requires the herbal skill and someone who's willing to farm marigold in your base, right? So that's two things that you need to have going on to get medicine. And medicine's the only way to heal your injured folks, and injured folks are very unhappy about being injured. With that in mind, we went ahead and we bought it. Now, your villager can't hatch the marigold, so Noobert can't hatch the egg pooper, right? Your main villager can't do it, so we need to gift it to somebody. So we can go ahead and we can look at you, who's got all the wood that you're going to be selling. You're going to be fine. We're going to find someone else who's going to have a little bit more trouble making money. So we click on citizens here, and we go around, and we see who's got the least money. That looks like Sam, the same one, and his highest income source is the medicine pooper. Oh, that's not our villager. I don't know why they're showing up here. That would be something for the devs. There you go. We'll let you know about that later. So Beatrice's main money is the marigolds. We're going to go ahead and gift them the egg pooper, which will allow them to hatch it. And periodically, the egg pooper, similar to the coal pooper and oxygen not included, will simply poop out eggs. So here we go. They've hatched it. They now have the egg pooper creature, the medicine pooper, and you can see the production rate right here is climbing. And every now and then it's going to poop a medicine. Medicine's very important to have in the colony. Wait a minute. Is that actually a person of ours? Am I just bad at paying attention? I am bad at paying attention. We have 4 people. Okay. Where's your house at, though, my dude? You just build out in your own in the middle of nowhere? Sometimes they go and build on completely different islands, so you gotta check around. Some people are kind of solo livers. Oh, we have a summoner plant over here. Very interesting. Summons 1 or more of the dangerous antler worms, which drop valuable loot when killed. So we'll just leave this be. We don't have to do anything about it. Technically, we could go and mess with this, but we're not going to worry about it. It's pretty good how it is. As for you, why are you unhappy? All right, we're going to move on, carry on, unclick everything. All right, for now, we need to improve villager happiness. Let's go ahead and go to our citizens here. Who is unhappy and why they are unhappy? We'll go ahead and select them and go to gifts, and we can see what they are desperately in need of is a hoe for the farm. They also need a lot of stone. We can give them stone and other things till these needs fade away for them. And that takes care of a lot of their unhappiness really quickly. As for the rest, we can tell Noobert to go socialize with them. That takes care of pretty much the rest of it. They get lonely every now and then. You got to go talk with them. Just give them a right quick socialize, and that starts solving most of your problems. Now, as for Noobert, Noobert could stand to have a bit more money. This second window here next to the shop button is our buying screen. Now, at the moment, he doesn't have a whole lot of strawberries. We're going to tell him we want him to buy it when there's so many of them, right? But we also want him to be selling them at a good price. Right now, strawberries are being sold at 4. The competitor price is 10, so we're going to post ours up at 9, raising it by 5 coins to give ourselves a much better price for it. We're going to drop the price of our raw meat to get a better price for that, and then lower the price of the iron ore to 6. And basically, we're putting ourselves just under where everybody else is placing themselves to make sure that we have a solidly good price and are the go-to for other people, so we can gather ourselves some money for the things that we want to do. Now, of course, what I had mentioned before, exhaustion. We deal with resource exhaustion as time goes on in this game, like all the trees down here becoming exhausted of resources and not being able to produce anymore. That said, a certain someone has a tree farm, and it may be better for us to just allow them to benefit from having a monopoly on trees. However, at the moment, the growth progress is not the fastest, and we do still need other sources of wood at the moment as we build things. So if we go to spend influence in banners right here at the top life, right, we can select a different benefit banner to place down in our village. These things decay over time, they disappear, and you got to place them again unless it says otherwise, right? But right now we want a banner of regeneration, which is going to slowly reduce the exhaustion of the resources on a sub-island, allowing more harvesting, right? And we're going to place that right here on this island. And what you see right here is this is going to slowly improve over time, heading back down to 0, so it's not so terrible. And there we go. It's good. It's good. Back to 0. When it drops below 50, it stops bugging us about it. Looks like people aren't really shopping at Noobert's shop. We're going to go ahead and click up here and see about looking around a bit more. I have Noobert build a 4 tiles of road in front of his home, or his shop, giving people a place to stand. Looks a little bit nicer. Then maybe we can put a stone decoration across the street from it, make it a little bit nicer. We're going to send Noobert to socialize with this guy over here, make sure he stays happy. Now, I do want to mention this game's still in development, so expect more stuff to be added as time goes on. And we really haven't even gotten that far yet. Like I said, we start out on this little island here. We can harvest these other islands here. There is a great big world out there to explore, conquer, and civilize it. I mean, if you feel people you're going to civilize aren't civilized. Different resources everywhere you go. You need to build a ship, of course, to be able to explore, though. I'm excited to get us down to that point in this video so I can start showing you guys some more of that stuff. This game's very fun. This is actually my 4th run, and I believe right now it's discounted on Steam for you guys. We got the devs to give you all a discount over the weekend while you enjoy this video. Let's wait for things to develop for a moment. Oh, we have an antler worm invasion. Oh, we'll just head back to our home. We'll actually go to our options here and see if we can disable some of these notifications a bit. Those are really interesting settings I had not looked at before. Looks like we have another bug invasion. We're going to send Noobert to deal with this one himself. Save our money for other things. We can fight these ones on our own. They don't really attack back very much. Let everybody else give them a good harvest. That is a very good price for wood. We'll buy it all. 7 gold per wood. Buy the stone because there's not much stone to buy. Then we will buy a defender worm. And Noobert, it is time for you to engage in using a new skill. So I'm kind of torn on this one because if we want to make a lot of money, cooking would be the way to go. It looks like the advisor wants me to do this as well. Yeah, okay, we'll go with it. Cafe is one of my favorites, so I can sell smoothies to people. That makes loads of money. Why don't we go ahead and do that? I'll build this. Yes, the village can grow, but we're going to go ahead and build our cafe first. Put it right here in our little box of wonderful structures. And this works very well for us. We can buy the strawberries that we need. And no, we're still going to sell strawberries high because we don't want to have to buy them high. So this is our selling manager. I'm going to go to the shop real quick, take a look at that. And it looks like we might want to raise our price for buying them to be about the same as where we're willing to sell them at. We'll put medicine up at a good 13 coins. Oh, my bad. We want to make sure we have 20 strawberries. We'll put the price at around 7. Medicine, we'll buy that. Make sure we always have 5. Never want to have a problem with it. I don't want anybody to actually buy our stockpiles of wood or stone, so I'm just going to set the price of that very high. We'll put this at a good 15. We'll buy out all the medicine and sell it ourselves. marigold price is going to be shoved higher and higher as people want to make medicine. Sorry for that delay there, just a bit of thought and planning. So, smoothies. I'm going to start them out at a crisp 40 each. I guess it's juice, but I like to think of it as smoothies. There we go. People come and buy our drinks. Tasty stuff. We can go over here. Put this right here. There we go. Yeah, our limits are preventing us from buying stone. It looks like the price of stone has gone up quite a bit as we've been buying it. That's fine. We'll set the price pretty high because we're willing to pay it to get what we need. We have everything we need to feed people now, and the supplies of wood are coming in just fine. And it does indeed look like the wood is available in the market. So current market price, right, is 6. We can't see how many are available in the market until we grow our village, so we're going to go ahead and finally grow our village. We've gotten 2 recruitment tokens. We're going to go ahead and recruit some citizens. This one's a little bit faster than average. I guess all this free market stuff. So they're talking about taxes and stuff has been handled. We got a few new buttons down here on the right. So we can manage cash flow in the economy. For now, since the village doesn't need to spend a whole lot, what I personally like to do is charge a flat 1 gold tax on everything sold. No matter the price, just 1 gold. Because what ends up happening is if I try to do a percentage tax, we really get a lot out of the villagers that need it most. But people don't shop a lot if they don't have a lot. So I just 1 gold tax everything. Later on, I change the tax rate to 5% and then increase all these to 2 coins. And then this number here is the current salary. So when the village is constructing stuff, they need someone to do the work. And they'll pay a salary to whoever they need to have them do that work. Right now, they'll pay 50 gold to have any one of the villagers build stuff for a whole day for them. But they can only have them do that if they have the stuff they need to do the building, and that's where this buy button comes in. So we can click buy here, and this is the village's buy settings. So this is for the village's stockpile. So imagine you're the government, and you have warehouses of stuff that you use to build things, and then you pay your citizens to come build your stuff for you with your materials, right? So right now, the village is not going to buy anything it's set to buy if it has fewer than. We want to set this to 20, and we want to set this to 20. We want to make sure that we have medicine for everybody, stone for all our building, and wood for all of our building. Those are the 3 main things we're going to dive into. And now we have to set the price we're willing to buy it for. I'm going to set that for 1 gold higher than what everything costs right now. And then finally, for the event of a famine, I set this to 18. We'll buy it at 7 each. And this will cause some inflation at first because the taxes are being used to buy up stocks in the village, and it'll cause some temporary scarcity while the village is buying up what it needs. But it's only going to be able to do it when it has money from taxes, right? So every time it collects taxes, they'll slowly start building up these piles of wares. Now we have more people in the village too. They all have different levels of happiness that have to be managed. We have to maintain it all to get to the next level. So right now we need 2 citizens at 1.5 happiness. We have 5 stores, right? So there's 5 people living here. Let's see how Noobert's doing. Noobert, how much money do you got, bud? 269. Pretty darn good. Pretty average. It looks like we don't really have a big spread in wealth in the economy just yet. We have some new folks here that aren't making a lot of money. A big issue I see here is that we have 2 people making money off of the same thing. So why don't we step this up a bit with Quick U, go to training. And you know basic tailoring, right? No one's really harvesting flax though. Why don't you learn carpentry when you can? It looks like he's not close to learning anything yet, so why don't we click on the other one? All right, they're both making the same amount of money. Did I just click the same one again? Let's see. Looks like it, yeah. So over time, they'll be able to learn new skills. Sometimes we can pick for them. Sometimes they choose what they want to learn, if it's been a while and we forgot about them. Ah, yes, shipbuilding. Remember when I told you about the greater, wider world out there? We can build ships and give the ship away to anyone in the village that wants to go and become a trader, sailing the high seas, looking for goods and bringing them back to sell to us. Or we can take that ship and use it to travel to these other places ourselves, settle or harvest resources and come back. So let's go ahead and we'll assign Noobert the great honor of building this village's first ship. It's quite the great undertaking. It takes a lot of wood. The village can once again grow. Once again, grow. We're not really getting a lot of money in, and we're still waiting for these newer folks to settle in. Needy citizens. Now our village is more than just a couple of huts on an island. Our new citizens will be unhappy, comrade. They'll arrive homeless and dressed in rags. They need our help. We could give our new citizens some resources, either by policy or just giving them enough to build a house and eat a good meal. The best gift is cold hard cash, and I agree with you. So here's what this is going to require of us before we bring in new villagers. We're going to have to go to policies, and we're going to have to scroll on down and click homestead funding, up to 200 gold, right? So the homestead funding policy allows us to give citizens up to 200 gold to get started to do what they need to do. Build their first home, build their first shop, get off the ground. Now, with that said, it's up to 200. If the village doesn't have any money, they'll just give them everything in the coffers in one go and won't have anything, which is where it comes into our next bit of fun stuff. We're going to set a tax rate of 7, and this is a pretty solid flat rate. It's a tax income. It's taxed on every item sold to fund the village. It's quite a rough tax income, I agree, but it's a bit easier to manage. When people are buying expensive stuff, this will help us out a lot. When people are buying cheap stuff, we won't really see much of it. Now, we're going to set the treasury limit to 2,000 gold. That way, we have the money we need to disperse things that we need, buy up resources on a whim if we need to support industries during a rough time. Looks like we need some more influence points at the moment, so I'll have to wait a day to do that. We need iron tools to build more advanced buildings, but our lazy citizens aren't making any. Freedom is the worst. Why aren't they doing what we want them to do? It's for their own good. See, this guy, he's the capitalist. You can tell by his mustache. He just wants to make money. If you want them, you might have to make them yourself. You could become a blacksmith if you're already doing something. Maybe the citizens won't be unhappy if you start a blacksmith for a bit alongside that. It could be quite profitable. If not, you might just need to wait. Freedom means leaving people to find their own path. Citizens, and sometimes that path isn't aligned with our own goals. Making the people happier will let them develop skills faster, help them, and they might help you. So, these are our options. We can build our own blacksmith, but if we have more than one store doing different things, people get unhappy. It's not fair for us to run multiple businesses because all the villagers can only run one. So we could do it for a little bit, but there's a daily decline in happiness the more businesses we have. So you can't try to do everything yourself and have all the money for yourself. Everyone will be quite unhappy if you monopolize the entire economy. What we could do is just build one for a little bit, build what we need, tear it down. Otherwise, we can wait and try to nurture our citizens till one of them just eventually decides, hey, I want to be a blacksmith. In our case, we don't feel like waiting for that at all, not even a little bit. We'll see if blacksmithing is something we can just learn right yet, and it isn't quite what we can learn, so it doesn't matter. Noobert can't learn a blacksmithing at this moment either. Yes, the village is spending quite a bit of money. Noobert can't buy the strawberries he needs, is it? The price went up a bunch because the village was spending a bunch. We're going to endure this because we have a stockpile of them and just survive it as best we can. We have 172 coins, and that is fine. So we'll just hold on to that stuff. And who is unhappy, we'll send Noobert to socialize with you. Looks like someone's building a strawberry farm. This is unfortunate for them, as the strawberry prices will go down after the village has bought up the stockpiles that it wants to have. Every now and then some wealthy folks show up and cause some issues. Cornelius Jennings, the farmer, has become very wealthy. If one person holds all the cash, people will find it hard to buy and spend. It's better for the economy if the money flows. Some other people might suggest taxing that wealth away, taking their hard-earned cash and giving it to others. I believe in a free market and know this is simply a symptom of lack of competition. There's no need to confiscate people's wealth. You yourself could change professions and go into competition with them and bring prices down, as well as making a healthy profit for yourself. So the game is saying here is someone is making a lot of money selling a certain kind of good. We could tax the crap out of that good so that we make lots of money for the village off of them, letting them accumulate less for themselves. Just basically enrich the village, which could do other projects. Or we could enter that industry with our Noobert character and start selling those goods at a much lower price, forcing them to lower theirs. And that really depends on what's key. at the time, right? So if it's a key resource the village doesn't really need a pile of, we might just tax the crap out of it for the village, right? Now, if it's a resource the village does need a lot of, and we don't want the village to spend huge amounts of money on it, we could have Noobert start a business and force them to lower their price. That way the village could start getting better prices overall. And of course, if we could make them need something, right? So what might they need to do what they do? Interesting question. What might the answer be? So let's go ahead and look at our citizens. And Cornelius does indeed have quite a lot of money. He's making it from selling strawberries to guess who? The village, who has been paying quite a price for them. Not only that, but Noobert, who has also been paying quite a price for them. We're going to go ahead and turn off the harvesting of other zones to get Noobert to focus on harvesting his own strawberries. Not only that, but we'll just have Noobert stop buying from them. Noobert will start acquiring his own strawberries, and it looks like the price is a little bit too high for him anyways. So we're going to go ahead and go to strawberries and set our selling price to them quite a lot higher, so we stop losing money on them. Yep, that's right, we don't want to put any in the shop. So in this case, the issue with strawberries is one that we created ourselves by having such needs in the village. It looks like this village over here, holy crap, what are you doing? Ah, yes, Noobert is buying up a great amount of goods all in one go to shore up his own supplies. We're going to go ahead to our drinks over here, and people do buy them, but I think we could probably do better if we lower the price just a smidge. For everybody's money just to get in there. Now, that said, our boat is done, is finally done, and it may well be time to do some other stuff, but not before fixing this. So, let's go to our world map, and we can click around and see other places. So this island is one tile away. It'll cost us 1 monies to explore it. We have no village tokens or travel tokens, but we can explore it. This island has no stone, so building structures will be difficult. It's got a strange tree. Not very helpful to us, but this is where it is. It's got wood. It's got this strange tree, a weird plant that eyeballs follow people who walk by, and villagers find it hard not to look back. Spending time near it can cause villagers to stare, which can make them become weird. So this is a big plot of land here. Definitely do some building and constructing and such. What we could do is we could tell Noobert to come here. And Noobert has arrived. Oh no, we got an error. But that's fine. We'll go home for now. Like I said, this game is still being developed, and these islands are relatively new. And that's just fine. We're going to tell the devs about it. They'll probably patch that right away because the map's already generated. We're just getting this error on the bottom left here. So we have finally built our boat. And we go to the ship controls here. We're not really interested in traveling just yet because we're working. Our village is very small. What we can do instead is get more trade coming to us by making this a free trader. And what that means is we're going to gift this boat away to let someone else use it and go make money. They'll come back here with stuff they find out in the wild and sell it to us, and they'll bring us interesting goods and wares. Now, if we zoom in, we can see other villagers have been decorating their homes. This increases their happiness. So we're going to go ahead and have Noobert decorate his. Well, we'll have him repair his house first. Then we can come over here. There we go. And Noobert has built his strawberry flower beds. His home is feeling a bit nicer for him. And I hope that was really good for giving you guys the gist of what this game has. You can keep going and unlock more things and even further expand yourself into the world and do more fun stuff. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you can see I got error. That's nothing to worry about. The game is still in development, like I said. Don't worry about it. Now, as for the village, you can order the village to have things built. For example, roads. The village can commission roads itself. So let's say we want to build roads through the village from end to end. We can do that. The village is going to go ahead and buy up the stone it needs if we have it set to do so. Right now it's got 2 stone. It'll pay someone for the day to get the work done. Oh, someone showed up again. Record highs. Our GDP has gone above 1,000 gold a day. Very good stuff. Looks like we might be getting attacked. Yeah, we are. Let's make for a good time lapse at least. Everybody's spreading out off the main island. This is good stuff. Gonna get rid of all the pests and stuff. These bugs can sometimes inhabit different parts of your map. They won't leave the islands they're on, but they can really disrupt your economy if you don't get rid of them. For example, in these marigold patches we're in right now, we need the marigold to make medicine. Noobert needs the marigold for some of the juices he sells, and others just want to eat it. Or use the flowers to decorate, I mean. And we're all done with all of that. Someone's finally learned the skill of medicine. We'll start making medicine and selling it within the colony. Ah, yes, the village has hired Jebediah to get some work done for us. build that next boat. See if I just needed a travel token in the game was just having a weirdness. I didn't have travel tokens before. Village reaches a new level. Expanding your village increases the number of citizens it can hold. It also increases the standard of living citizens. Yes, yes, yes. The cash required hold a festival increases as well. So we have finished building our second boat. It does say we need 1 ship token, so let's go to our map now. We've explored this place, and we have a new button here. It's called Expedition, and we can go on an expedition down there. It needs 2 travel tokens. We can continue on to hire crew. So expeditions allow us to temporarily visit locations without a village. You can harvest resources for a while, and everything you gather will be given to you, the expedition leader, when you return home. Every member of your crew can use the resources in your ship. You share everything while on an expedition. Sensing weakness, the hostile wildlife will constantly swarm you. Be prepared to defend against an ever-increasing attacks and flee before you get overwhelmed. So we're going to continue on to hiring some crew, and 3 people is pretty good. We'll load up 5 medicine. We'll load up 19 strawberries, 20 wood, and 20 stone. We'll also load up a defense worm so we can give it to somebody. And we will confirm that. We begin our travels. We are on a journey. So we've arrived. It's quite the interesting place. We're going to go ahead and we want to harvest the middle. We also want to hunt the animals in the middle. There's a lot of leather here. This is very useful to us. Looks like we can't build anything here. This is all new to me as well. This is my first time traveling. Let's go ahead and gather everywhere and hunt everywhere. Let's just take it all. Looks like there may be some hostile critters here that I didn't account for yet. There's leeches in the water. We may want to be cautious of the leeches. Oh wow. Back home there's quite a few creatures. Out of control, one might say. We're going to have to go back to our people who are out exploring at the moment. Should we let them destroy the village and rebuild our economy after, or tell everyone it's time to go home right away? It truly is hard to say because Noobert really does get to keep it all. They're destroying people's houses and stuff. Everybody's returned home. Looks like they'll probably defend everything on their own. Wretched worms. We're going to the managed section of our village. And all that wood we were holding on to, we're going to hand out a bunch of it, as well as stone to people that might need it, and some food, since things have gotten quite damaged while we were away. They're rebuilding their homes. That's just good to see. And it looks like business carries on as normal. You can view this ship down here. Noobert doesn't really have a huge amount of money left after all that, but we did find tin ore. Someone's selling it. We'll buy an amount of it, just because we don't have any. Maybe in the future we can do something with it. That's funny. We've received $1 from the government. Sailor Sham left us after losing a bit too much. Alright, you can keep progressing from here, unlock upgrades for your buildings, and do much, much more. Again, I want to thank the developers of Mercantisle for giving us the game and sponsoring this video. There's going to be some links for some free copies of the game in the description below for some of you guys that want to try it. You guys that click on these videos early, go and nab that. It's a good one for you. As for everyone else, go check out the Steam page. Give the demo a try. You can try the demo. They've got one up. Or you can buy the game if you really like this video and just want to dive straight in. As for everyone else, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you all for watching.